Hi, and welcome back to the Mind and Wellness Podcast with me, Gemma Merna. And today's guest, we have a spiritual mentor and author, and my lovely friend, Katy Sloane. I'm
Hello.
so excited you're on. I am so excited. So
Oh,
thank you for coming on.
thank you.
And yeah, I wanted to have you on and chat all things spirituality, woo woo,
Yes.
as we like to use it,
Yeah.
Reiki, crystals, everything that you do. Because I have just completed my level two Reiki with Katie, and it was incredible.
Oh, thank you. It was, you know what? It was absolutely magical. And
Mm,
I'm so grateful that you were part of that
yeah,
at that weekend because it was super special.
it was. And I feel like it just took me to another level of energy, spirituality, however way you want to label it. I don't really know. I just
Yeah.
felt I went up another level.
Yeah.
Um, and I just thought it was absolutely incredible. So that's why I wanted to get you on the podcast, chat about all these things that sometimes people are either scared of or people kind of avoid or
Yeah.
use the word like woo woo,
Yeah.
oh, it's not scientific. And this is the
Yeah.
thing that I'm kind of coming across a lot recently. And that's why I want to talk about it more because the work that
Yeah.
you do is so powerful, helps so many people. And yeah, we need to talk more about it.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel so honored to be here on your podcast. So thank you. And
Mm.
for that lovely introduction as well. And yeah, I'm excited to get into all things woo woo
Yeah.
and scientific because they
Yes,
really do go together.
they do,
Um,
don't they?
yeah, and that's something that I like to do. Although my book is very woo woo and way out there, I do like to throw in the science as
Yeah.
well to say, you know what? This is real. This is
Yeah.
very real. And science actually supports
Yeah.
spirituality. They need to be bridged together. They're not two separate things.
Yes, that they're not two separate things. And I think a lot of people who only work in this space through science, they're really not open to
Yeah.
this side of things. And they're very much, oh, but it has to be science-based. But this is science-based. So
Yeah.
you can't just be black and white about it. It all blends together.
Yeah.
And that's what I've known over the work that I've done over the years. It's like putting both of them together and leaning into both sides, that's when
Yeah.
I've got the better results.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if we think of it from the point of view of balance as well, most scientists will just be left brain logically minded. That's the part of their brain that they use. Well, actually, science will tell you if you can use both parts of your brain, you're going to get
Yeah.
a lot further on in life, right?
Yes.
Bringing the balance of the right brain, the intuitive side, the creative side. And that's what's being negated, even in our education system.
Yeah.
The creative side of things is being shunned and shut
Yeah.
out. And we're really seeing that impact on mental health because all of us need to have that creative flow, whether we consider ourselves as artists or not. We need to
Mm.
have creativity in our lives to bring mental balance.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that because I find like when I'm not being creative or creating something as like my meditations or my hypnosis, it just I feel like I'm stifling. It just
Yeah,
doesn't feel right. It's like that like just lights me up so
yeah,
much.
that's it. And it is that creative side of yourself that lights you up. And that's why it's so important to have that balance.
Yeah.
So I say, even to all the scientists out there that are, not into the woo woo, it would
Yeah,
really benefit them. And perhaps they'd make major breakthroughs if they did get into it,
totally. And
bringing the
especially with
balance.
like the meditation side of things, it's so important for our brain to
Yeah.
meditate.
Oh, yeah. And that's it. Science will show you that when someone is meditating, parts of their brain light up that are usually inactive in regular people. So there's real science behind the power of meditation for
Mm,
sure.
oh, I love it. So take me on the journey. Like, where did you start? How did you get into this work?
Okay,
And when?
yes. So gosh, it's been an amazing journey. I was an artist, a fashion designer, trained in fashion design. I've always been really connected to the spiritual world and I've always believed in angels. I had a few profound experiences when I was a child, but then as I grew up, I kind of shut that side of me down as we
Mm,
become immersed in the material world and in, achieving our goals, and I was all on the fashion track. And although I was nurturing that creative side through art, definitely closed off a lot of my spiritual gifts. gifts. And I think
Mm,
through fear. And I think this is what a lot of us do. We close off our gifts. We all have gifts,
mm.
but we close them off because we're unsure, we're scared of what it means. And, that was definitely the case with me. Then I fell pregnant with my daughter, Gracie, and she blew my third eye wide
Oh,
open. I just had this amazing awakening to the angelic realms. Actually, at first, my logical mind kind of set in because I began to see lights around people, and not even just around people, I'd see them all over the place. Like just randomly see lights, and my logical mind was like, there's something wrong with you. You've got a brain tumor. There's all these
yeah.
things go through your
Yeah.
mind, like get tested. So I did. I went to the doctors, I went to the opticians, and they couldn't find anything wrong with me. Like my eyesight was fine. And then I just like tuned in. And at this point, I wasn't meditating. I didn't, I tell a story in my book about the first time I meditated and it didn't go well because, I definitely, yeah, I was doing my Reiki training with my sister and we definitely like to have a laugh. And it just ended up in laughter. So that's a really funny story. But, back when I was pregnant with my daughter, I started to awaken to the energies that are all around us. We have this huge aura that
Mm,
is all different colors. It changes with our emotions. Science supports that. We
yeah.
can see it with specific photography called Kirlian photography. Our aura changes with our emotions. And so, energetically, we're just surrounded by all of this light
Mm.
that usually we can't see. And I was tuning into that light, the light of the
Wow.
aura, and also the light of angels, which
Yeah.
I'm big on
Yes.
angels.
Yeah.
And I know people loved to hear about angels, but a lot of people are unsure
Yeah.
and like seeing lights now. There's like white light there. There was a white light there before. So
Really?
there's so much angelic energy coming through right now.
Really?
And so once I realized what it was, life got really exciting. And I was like, wow, here I am. I've had Gracie by this point. I discovered that I'm not going crazy. There's nothing wrong with me, but actually quite the opposite. My third eye is opening as I am connecting to my spiritual self.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I really start communicating with angels and the magic and the miracles that unfold when I start consciously connecting to and asking the angels for help. It was just mind blowing and it changed my life. And I just thought, wow, imagine if like we were taught this stuff from from being children. Imagine how different our lives would be
Yeah.
knowing that we're not alone, that we do have this army of light helping us. We just have
Mm.
to invite them in. And so that's when I became really passionate about teaching about the higher realms, teaching about your inner light and
Yeah.
about the light that's around
Yeah.
you. And it's just a wonderful path to be on.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is. It so is. And just when you're talking there, it just like, oh, I just love it because there is more than us, isn't there? There's more
Yes.
than us. And I think we're ignorant to think there isn't. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I think when we do connect um to that energy, like I said, when I completed the Reiki, level one was so powerful, and then level two, I just felt like I lifted in an energy.
Yeah.
And it's all about energy. It's
Yeah.
that I can feel people's energies. I feel mine. And it's so interesting you said that about auras, because I didn't actually know that. Maybe it's just my ignorance, but we change with our emotions. So why would
Yeah.
our auras not change as well?
Yeah.
They will change with emotion and how you're feeling and from
Absolutely.
day to day.
Yes.
So it's and I love the fact that you bring the angels in for
Yeah.
support. So tell me how they've supported you like over the years as well.
Oh, just in so many ways. So when I was launched into motherhood and it was a real shock to the
Mm,
system. Obviously, the biggest blessing and I wouldn't have it any other way. And it put me on this really wonderful path, but it was extremely hard because I'd gone from being, an ambitious fashion designer and to being a full-time mum overnight. And
yeah,
my husband, Barry,
yeah,
is an actor like yourself. And we moved to New York. He was on Broadway. And Gracie was one and she had sleep apnea. She wouldn't sleep. And it was just really, really hard. And that was when I began to consciously connect with the angels and
mm,
call them in. And that's when the lights really came through strong. Um, so they just calling upon them will help your day and your life to come into a state of flow. You'll stop punching against the tide. You'll be
Mm.
comforted, you'll be supported, you'll be given so many signs. I was constantly being given feathers, they would fall at my feet. It's amazing because like even now it's like gold, there's white, there's so many lights
Mm.
all around us. Like, and frequencies as well is another sign. Like frequencies will change, and that's just
The
happens in my
ringing in the
energy.
ears.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get that.
ringing in the ears. There's so many signs that the angels will give us. They'll communicate with us through numerology as
Mhm.
well. So 1111 is a really powerful
Yeah.
sign that the angels will send us, and I would probably see that like 10 times a day.
Yeah.
It just was it was life changing for me. And then now, even now, if there's something that feels like it can't be resolved, just call upon the archangels to
Yeah.
help you. And there's different angels that you can call upon for different things. So
Yeah.
if you're feeling vulnerable, call upon Archangel Michael. Michael is the great protector.
Yeah.
He carries a really powerful blue energy. So you can visualize yourself surrounded by that blue light.
Yeah.
We did that in our
I love that,
Reiki.
and I've been using that a lot with my clients.
Good.
So I kind of ask their permission, is that, are they open to it? And
Yeah.
we've been using the blue a lot because in hypnotherapy we run a color. So it can be your favorite
Wow.
color, it can be white gold, from the crown of the head all the way through the body for them
Yeah.
to feel that energy, to feel that color. And what
Love
I've been
that.
doing a lot with obviously sessions and how they like, what they tell me at the beginning of the session,
Yeah.
they say for protection, Michael, and we run it through and then wrap it round like you taught
Wow.
me.
Love
And
that.
they've noticed such a powerful shift. And
Yeah.
I'm doing it a lot more now. And
Good.
you do feel so much more protected.
You do. And it's such a simple thing. People say to me, well, I don't know how to do it. I'm like, your intention is everything. Just setting
Yes.
that intention to connect with Archangel Michael, to ask him to protect your energy field,
Hmm.
to bring you strength. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be a long ritual. But when
Yes.
you're in your sessions, you really feel the shift, don't you? You feel the
Massively.
shift in energy,
Massively.
and the client feels it as well.
Yeah, and it's like this work really works. And,
Yeah.
like I said, I do hypnotherapy and I've started to bring Reiki into my sessions now,
Love
but
that.
also like the colors on bringing the angels in
Yeah.
and it's little bits of everything. It's
Yeah.
so powerful.
It is so powerful. And for me, when I began doing Reiki,
Mm,
angels just went hand in hand because I'd reconnected with the angels and then they led me to Reiki. And
yeah,
actually, my nephew Stanley talk about this story in depth in my book, but he was born with a bowel defect and he had to have major operations from just a day old. And at that point, my sister and I, we just felt helpless, when
mm,
someone is going through that, especially a little baby, like how can you help?
yeah,
And I knew that there was more that could be done rather than, just saying prayers. And so I was guided to Reiki. My sister and I trained in our level one. And then, of course, we went on to level two, and we would give Stanley a healing after his operations, and he would be out of hospital much quicker than what the doctors predicted. And we always knew that it was Reiki that
yeah.
was the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
And then from then, it was just like I never intended to do it professionally, but once I'd did my level two, like you said,
I
it
know.
just that world of healing and energy healing, chakras and auras, and it just led me on this magical path
Yeah,
of healing and helping others to heal. And I couldn't not do it. Like
yeah,
it was just so divinely aligned. And then, of course, master level, and now I teach,
I
and it's
know.
just the journey's continuous, and I'm
So
learning all the
powerful.
time.
It is so powerful. I,
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Like, I feel like my work's shifting so much
yeah,
since I've completed my level two. I feel like it's
amazing.
shifting massively. I feel like I'm going more down the healing modality than because I think, again, the same as yourself, spiritual as a child, shut it off through fear to fit in
Yeah,
as well with groups of
yeah,
friends and stuff. I think we do that. We
definitely.
change ourselves to fit in.
Yeah,
And then I feel like I found all the work, mind and wellness, trying to help people. And it's very much, I was always backing it up with science,
yeah,
oh, it's not woo woo. And then now I feel like I'm like, this stuff works. If you want
yeah.
it,
That's it.
this is what I do. And I do feel I'm really leaning towards, like you were saying, like the Reiki, I'm just obviously everything's online. I feel like I want to do so much more healing work,
Yeah.
so much more of bringing in the Reiki with the hypnotherapy,
Yeah.
with the yoga, is that bringing it all together to heal more.
Amazing. I love that. And yeah, it goes perfectly.
Mm,
Reiki works beautifully alongside any
yeah,
other healing, even, Western medicine. They've now got Reiki practitioners in hospitals helping
yeah,
cancer patients. It's such a beautiful energy and it helps to bring balance to all of the bodies, the physical, the mental, the emotional.
yeah,
And as you know, with Western medicine, you're only going to treat the physical, right?
yeah,
Well, we're so much more than physical beings,
yeah.
and Reiki will flow on all levels.
Oh, it's just so beautiful. And that energy shift that you feel is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It's just amazing. And I like to say, the different levels as you continue on your Reiki journey, it's like unlocking a door. So like level
Mm,
2, you've unlocked another door and then
mm,
all these this new incredible information will just flow to you
mm.
and you just put on another path of discovery, and it's just so exciting. It's such an exciting
And
journey.
the difference between your Reiki is you bring the angels in, the
Yes.
celestial side of it, isn't it? So
Yeah.
tell us about that, because you created that yourself, didn't you? And you've been
Yeah.
working so hard to
Yeah.
create the teacher training with it,
Yes,
weren't you?
yeah. So I used to teach Reiki, standard Yusui Reiki, which is also
Yeah. Hmm.
amazing and really beautiful. But I felt like when I was teaching it, I was eliminating a vital part, which was the angelic realms,
Yeah.
because every Reiki session I've ever done, the angels are there in full force. It really goes hand in hand. And then I was being guided for a while to create my own course, but obviously I was writing my book. So I kept saying, right, I'll have to do it, after the book is done. So, of course, the book is out now. So then I set to work on my own healing modality, which is celestial Reiki.
Yeah.
And it's bridging Reiki with the angelic realm. So you've got a double whammy.
Yeah.
And so like you were saying about the woo woo, uh, if you want to just kind of go standard Reiki, then you're going to be led to the woo woo anyway.
Yeah.
But with mine,
Yeah.
it's all in.
Yeah.
Right, we go all in on the woo woo from day one. I'm
And
like,
everyone loves
I'm not
it.
holding back anymore.
And that's how I feel. That is how I
Yeah.
feel. I'm like, I am not holding back or changing my language to fit in
Yeah.
or to make other people feel comfortable. It's like,
Yeah.
this is what it is. If you want a part of it and to feel great,
That's it.
there we go. In
Yeah,
it.
and it's
And
so freeing when you
oh, it's
reach that
so
point,
it
isn't
is,
it?
isn't it? It
Yeah.
so is. Because I can imagine you've had so much of that, like
Oh, yeah.
angels, Reiki, people. But
Yeah.
you lived out in LA for a long while, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Which is, I'd say it's more, people are more open.
More open to it
Yeah.
there. Yeah, definitely. California is really a lot of spiritual teachers there, great spiritual community. But you've still got your skeptics, and in the beginning, I used to hold back a lot,
Yeah.
for fear of judgment. What will
Yeah.
people think of me? They think I'm crazy. And now I'm like, honestly,
Yeah.
judge your way because it's fine. And when you get to that place, it's just so empowering.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you're of a vibration that resonates with what I'm teaching, then you're going to be drawn to what I'm teaching. If not, you're going to go elsewhere, and that's fine. It's just
Yeah.
everybody's on their own unique path and they will be drawn to what they're ready for. So
Yeah.
for a lot of people, they're just not ready for it, and that's okay.
Yeah. And that's okay, isn't it? But
Yeah.
I remember being on your training, like the amount of people that you have helped, like healed, and the
Oh, thank
stories
you.
are just unbelievable.
'Cause, I always get emotional, even though I teach a lot. Whenever I tell the stories and the experiences that I've had, and even now I'm recording my Audible book, and it's just so wonderful to relive those
Yeah.
memories because it's miraculous. The things that happen, and you'll be discovering this on your Reiki journey as well. Like the
Mm,
things that happen in your sessions are miraculous. The things that happen for your clients are miraculous. And the
mm.
power is undeniable when you've had those experiences.
Yeah. No, it is. And I think I noticed that when I started teaching him therapy, and I think that took me to another level. And it's like, people are coming with anxiety that is crippling them and they can't even leave the house
Yeah.
or they can't live the life. And within like 4 or 5 weeks,
Yeah.
they're not getting physical pains anymore of
Wow.
anxiety. And,
Yeah.
and it's like, it helps so much.
Yeah.
Like, why is it not, you know what I mean? Why is it
Yeah.
not more open and kind of talked about? Like, because in the
Yeah.
hypnotherapy world, people think you've got control of people's mind or quack like a duck, and it's nothing like
Yeah.
that. It's a healing modality, as Reiki is with energy.
Yeah.
It's a healing modality within the brain, within the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So it's you work with clients, and I think um every story reaffirms how fantastic this type of work is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think we're met with resistance as well because there's no profit in people healing themselves, right? I just
Yeah.
saw a big light as I said that. So, a lot
Yes.
of the Western medicine and all that do like to negate the woo woo. Oh, it's not,
Yeah.
it doesn't work because there's no money in it. Big pharma wants you to be dependent upon medication.
Yep.
And I've seen so many clients not need medication anymore when
Yeah.
they've tuned into their
Mm-hmm.
higher selves, to their spiritual selves.
Yeah.
That's what's going to heal them.
Because already got everything in us that we
Yeah,
ever need. It's just knowing where to tap into. And they always say the teacher appears when you need, and then the
yeah,
teacher goes when you need. So
yeah,
it's like you work with different people, or something like I said to you now, like Reiki's become quite a big thing for me now, as so it's
yeah,
kind of it's come to me at the right time of my life
yeah, absolutely.
to move through it. And I think that's when we do tap into ourselves and really connect to ourselves. I think that's when we know what's right for us. We
Yeah,
don't need anybody else to tell us or what to take. We
yeah,
know what's right for us.
absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing I always love to teach is that everything you need is within you. All the answers are within you. And when you go within and you connect to that inner
Yeah.
light, the guidance and the answers are there for you.
Mm,
They're available to you.
yeah.
And, meditation's wonderful for that,
Yeah.
for really going inward, for tuning into your intuition, for asking your angels and your guides to give you guidance, give you support,
Mm,
bring you solutions to
yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
There's nothing more powerful. And that's why I'm just so passionate about teaching this to others now because
Yeah.
I've seen how it's transformed my life and
Yeah.
the lives of so many others
Yeah.
as well.
So when did you start teaching then? Like when did that kind of happen for you?
I started teaching about maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And I knew the time was right because several people asked me within the space of a few days. And I was like, and like the universe just keeps sending you signs. And I was resistant at first because I thought, you have that, oh, I don't think I'm ready to teach. And, you will
Yeah.
be guided to do
Yeah.
things when you're ready. And you've got to break through the
Mm,
barriers of fear
mhm. Yeah.
and know that we all have to do things that make us feel uncomfortable
Yeah.
to get to that next level. And now I just wouldn't have it any other way. My gosh, teaching is just so rewarding because,
Mm,
people like yourself are going out and then spreading the word to so many others. That ripple
yeah.
effect is
Yeah.
just magnified 1,000-fold. So,
It is that ripple effect, isn't it? That's why I always say to just tell a friend or help someone
yeah,
out and just, oh, try this. If
yeah,
we can help one person out, that's
yeah,
our aim really, isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah. Because then that one person's going to go on to help others. And,
Mm.
it's that ripple, it's a knock on effect.
Oh, it's just so, so gorgeous. So, where do you see all going now with your teaching? Do you want to stay teaching, or are you working mostly with private class? Because you've got your membership as well, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. So I've got my Celestial Tribe membership, and that came about just through wanting to reach a wider audience.
Mm,
And I'm a mother as well, so have a lot going on at home with the kids and school and everything. And I thought, so keep the energy going and having set classes every month. So that's
yeah,
what I do, but making them accessible to a large audience.
yeah,
And that was where the idea for my tribe came up. So I do
yeah,
like bi-weekly classes. I'll do like a super chat where I talk about all, weird and wonderful things, angels and healing and crystals and all of that. And then I do a live meditation at the end of every month, which is an angel
Yeah.
meditation. I call it, my tribe is called the Celestial
Yeah.
Tribe, and it's Celestial Tribe Live. We go live on Zoom, and I do this beautiful journey where I'll take you to heal specific parts of yourself and
Mm.
connect to, honestly, we connect to other worlds. It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
And I
wow.
think you joined my unplug
Unplug
meditations,
one.
haven't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you definitely have to join a live
Yeah.
journey because
Because because
they're
it
up,
was
they've gone
you
up a
that got
notch.
me into Unplug.
Yes. That
And
was
then I went on my teacher training with Unplug because I did some
yeah,
classes through lockdown with
that's
yourself, and
right.
then that's how I went on my journey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like Unplug, and then went on to do my coaching, then went on to do hypnotherapy, and then come
Wow.
to you to do Reiki.
Oh, love that. My
But
gosh. Yeah.
yeah,
Unplug
so
that was such a pivotal moment for you, wasn't it?
yeah,
I remember you joined one of my classes because I used to do Celestial Sundays for
yes,
Unplug.
yeah,
So Unplug is an amazing
incredible.
meditation studio in LA, and like just they have the most wonderful teachers there.
Mm,
David G, Camilla Segadalarup,
yeah,
my fave. And so teaching there was such an honor for me. And then in lockdown, we went online, which was
yeah.
like a whole new arena that had not been
How did
explored.
you feel about going online?
Well,
Like,
you know what I'm like with technical.
I
I'm
love
not
it.
great with the
Katie, you put your
technicals.
headphones in, you go, can everyone hear me? I'm like, and you know what I
Oh.
did last time when the headphones, you couldn't hear you. I'm shouting to you, and everyone on the course like this, and I'm like, oh no, she can't hear me, can she? I write in the chat box.
I'm like oblivious, just in my own world, like not
It's
realizing
funny.
that
I'm
like no,
exactly the
can't hear
same though,
anyone.
in it. But isn't that amazing for both of us and other
Yeah.
people out there who've done that? Literally, I've just took their work online.
Yeah.
Not great
Oh yeah.
with like, the Zooms online and that sort of stuff, but just run with it and just
Yeah.
go with it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we had to at that point. Like Susie is amazing, who she's the founder of Unplug, and she just has to think outside the box. The way she's set up classes now, actually, even now it's running it live in person. We have a live stream going as well, so people can
So
join from the
good. Yeah.
comfort of their homes.
Yeah.
So it's just expanded the whole
I think it's
industry.
changed the world
Yeah,
in that sense because I love things online now.
yeah, me too.
Because like you've got your tribe online, your Reiki online, and what do you say to people like will say, oh, it's not as good online?
Well, I think it's all down to personal preference,
Mm,
but for me, online allows me to reach so many people. I mean, it's incredible. Like in my tribe, we have people in Australia who catch up on the recordings.
yeah.
They can't join the lives, but we've got Australia, New Zealand, we've got Chicago, we've got people all dotted all over the US, and then we've got the UK as well. We've even got Netherlands. And I just think, wow, if it wasn't for
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
online on Zoom, we wouldn't have all these, I think of all these lights dotted around the
Yeah.
globe. And when you're connecting and pulling in the light like that, connecting to the light and anchoring it onto the planet, it's like you've created this grid of light. I always have that in my
Mm.
mind when I'm doing these classes. And
I don't
same
mean
for
to
you.
like digress, but the grid of light,
The
like
grid of light, yeah.
explain the grid because I was actually like,
Yeah.
like the crystal grid and things like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Like that's what I was kind of a bit blown away with that, how you can create your own like crystal grids and
Yeah.
things like that, isn't it? And
Oh
that's similar to
yeah.
what you're saying there, the grid of light.
Yeah, and in lockdown, I actually was in LA for most of lockdown, and I did a practice with soul and spirit where you buried a crystal in the earth, and we basically created a grid all around the globe of people burying
Hmm.
their crystals with the intention of healing.
Yeah.
That was incredible. But yeah, on a smaller scale, you can do your own crystal grids. And so I'm also a trained crystal healer.
Yeah.
When I was pregnant with my son Lennon, I like got into crystals big time. And I was like, I'm going to take this time to really study and learn that as a modality because I'd always bring crystals into my healing
Hmm.
sessions. But again, learning the science behind crystal healing
Yeah.
was mind blowing for me. Just like the sacred geometry that's within crystals, the energy field that radiates from them. Like it's a consistent, high vibrational energy field that radiates from a crystal, and our energy fields are constantly changing with our
Yeah.
emotions. So what happens is our energy field actually entrains to the energy field of the crystal, and that's the science behind why it brings you back into
Yeah.
balance. But then on a metaphysical level, there's just so many layers to crystal healing. There's like
Mm,
so much ancient wisdom and energy locked within
mm.
them, wisdom of the earth locked within them because they've been grown over thousands of
Yeah,
years, just that journey is endless as well. But yeah, you can create these crystal grids to manifest specific outcomes in your life.
yeah,
And actually, I've created my Celestial Reiki course, and I am creating a crystal course and incorporating that scientific element into
yeah,
it. It's definitely going to be next year for that one, though.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
yeah,
know, because I'm like,
yeah.
when can I join?
I could see you thinking that.
I
She's like,
even
when is
said that
this?
on the Reiki one. I was like, when's the crystal one?
It's coming soon. You'll be the first to know.
Yeah, I just book me on. Just book me on
Love
because I
it.
love it. But I love that the crystal grid, and especially if you're giving Reiki, you can create that underneath like the bed, and you
Yeah,
can have that in your house. You can put it if you're building a house in the kind of the ground underneath your
yeah.
house and
Oh, yeah,
protect your house, and
yeah,
the properties and the energy from crystals that you get are just
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, so high vibe, so uplifting, balancing, transmuting, and
Mm.
all the different, oh gosh, I used to go to the most incredible crystal fairs in California. And I'd just come back with like so many crystals. Barry would be like, where are we going to put these? Like, it's okay, I'll sell them. But like, there's certain, I'm like, I don't want to sell that one. I don't want to
No,
sell.
I know.
They're
I'm like that.
just, oh, they're
I know.
just,
It's just they're just
they're
unbelievable.
magical.
They're
Yeah.
magical.
Yeah.
And you are drawn to certain ones. And I
Oh,
think if
yeah.
anyone is kind of getting into crystals or interested in that, like
Yeah.
just really like tune into yourself and your own intuition, and you will get drawn to the ones that you
Yeah.
need at the time.
I would say the crystal will call to you.
Yeah.
So people say, how do I know which ones to choose? And, if you do Reiki, it's great, but you can run your hand across smaller crystals and just see which one you get an energetic hit off of. Often
Mm.
you'll feel a sensation in your
Yeah.
hand as you go across one, and that's almost like it's calling to you. And then
Ah.
bigger ones, like you with your,
Yeah, my new amethyst.
yeah, your
I'm
new
just like
amethyst
this. Just
geode.
give me the energy.
Oh yeah, that was always meant to be yours
Oh,
because crystals
totally.
are they have consciousness. This is there's a quote from Nikola Tesla that I always love to use. Can I remember it? In crystals, we have a principal life form that holds consciousness, and although we cannot understand that, it is nevertheless a living being.
Yeah.
Words to that effect is what he said. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like Nikola Tesla, the most incredible
But
scientist.
again, isn't it funny though? Even though we might not understand that, us as human beings want to understand everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have it with hypnotherapy clients. Like like I can explain it scientifically. Okay, I'm going to speak to your subconscious mind. It's a program that you're running on. We're going to change that program, but the results will speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And I know I'll come out of things and, my clients go, but why did that work that way? And it's
Yeah.
like, I will give you more information, but do you feel lighter? Do you feel
Yeah.
better as that thing that emotion, the way it was making you feel? Are you feeling that way? Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just after the session. Those
Yeah.
results will get even better in a week, 2 weeks time.
Wow.
And then you come back to another session and it's like, they're on to something else. And I'm like, well, that thing that we touched on last week, that was crippling you. Have you thought about? Oh no, I've not even thought about it this week.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know, but it's like us as human beings, we have to try and understand it. But hypnotherapy is like that. Like sometimes you kind of can't understand
Yeah.
it. It just works.
Yeah. It
And
does.
you have to just trust and just lean into it. And I think the more we do that, I think the more the healing works. So I love
Definitely.
that with that quote because it's like what we don't understand sometimes, what we don't
Yeah.
understand is what we need.
Yeah. That's it. And that's the thing. It's like, there's so much to learn, especially when you start delving into metaphysics and the different
Yeah.
dimensions, the higher realms, and just the very structure of like the universe, the
Yeah.
multiverse. It's mind
Yeah.
blowing, and we're not meant to understand it
Yeah.
because we are just a tiny grain of sand
Yeah.
in this universe, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay to be on a journey of discovery and
Mm.
to try and understand it, but
Mm.
also to surrender and to just know
Yeah.
that, you know what, some things are beyond our understanding, but just be open to receiving what is for your
Mm.
greatest good and allow that to flow. Sometimes the energy of wanting to know why something works and the mechanics behind it, it's
Changes the energy. It
resistance.
changes that energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it creates resistance, which is a block. So,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you know, over time, you will gain a greater understanding of things. You know, back in the beginning when I was on this path, I think, wow, so time is an illusion? Like, how does that work? You know, we're aging. How is time an illusion? Like Albert Einstein would
Mm.
say, you know, everything happens simultaneously all at once. Time is an illusion. And that I just could not get my head around. But I can honestly say now, you know, what is it, 15 years down the line of doing this kind of work, I'm beginning to understand it.
Mm.
Doesn't boggle my mind as much
Yeah.
anymore. I'm like, oh, of course, yeah, because this is the third dimension, and
Mhm.
in this we are in a time space reality, you know. But back then, I could never have even dreamt of getting my head around it.
Yeah.
Things will begin to fall into place as you
Yeah.
just surrender
Mm.
and walk the path.
It is that. It's just surrendering, trusting where you are is where you're meant to be.
Yeah,
Because I think, you know, there's a lot of people, myself included, suffer from anxiety, overwhelm, stress, and that's us trying to have so much control over our life and so
yeah,
much control over things that we can't control that happens out in the world,
yeah,
that we can't control. And sometimes it's just about letting go of that grip a little bit,
definitely.
surrendering and trusting the path.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, time can be a real source of anxiety for people because they have specific goals of where they wanted their life to be at a certain
Yes,
point.
yes.
And I have so many clients panicking and say, but I wanted to have done so much more and I wanted to have done this. And I always remind them, you are exactly where you are meant to be.
Hmm.
Look at everything that you have done.
Yeah.
Be grateful for everything you've achieved, for everything you've come through. Everyone's
Mm.
life story is so colorful, and you know, there's always going to be ups and downs, and things will never be as you wanted them to be exactly. But isn't that the beauty of life?
Yeah.
You know, just let it flow and tune into gratitude.
Yeah.
It's the most powerful thing that you
I
can
know
do.
because we can all find at least one thing that we're grateful for,
Yeah,
can't we? We can.
absolutely.
But
Yeah,
it's this we do it's society as well. Well, you've got to do this by this age, this by that, have this, do that. Like, who says? Like,
yeah,
why can't we just live whatever life in the way our life unfolds?
yeah,
That's beautiful in itself.
yeah,
And as long as you're happy
definitely.
and you feel some sort of peace and contentment, you're on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I talk about this in my book. A lot of it is down to our conditioning. We are
Yeah.
conditioned to fit into a box. Like, this is what normality looks like.
Yeah.
You know, you'll go to school, you'll maybe get married, you'll, you know, maybe have kids, then you'll get sick, then you'll die, you know, you'll work a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
That is the norm for most people. And that's what we're led to believe is like, that's what we should do.
Mm.
My God, when you break out of that box and you're open to all possibilities, that's when life becomes magical.
Oh, it
Just
does.
release control.
Because I don't think us as human beings ever want to be in that box. And I think this
No?
is where people feel like, what's the word that I should look for here? A little bit kind of suffocated and
Yeah.
claustrophobic in the life that society has told them that they should be living.
Yeah.
And actually, it's when you kind of go, oh, what life do I want to be living?
Yeah.
And you've got that choice. Everyone's got that choice.
Yeah. That's it. Everyone has the choice. And we are all sovereign beings. Like,
Mm.
actually, yes, we have governments and laws in place, but actually, the only person we need to answer to is ourselves. We
Yeah.
are our own greatest judge,
Mm.
right? And that's where self compassion, self forgiveness comes in.
Yeah.
That's what's going to heal you.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And I think it's that self trust as well. I think finding finding yourself more and trusting yourself more. I think a lot unfolds after that because I think
Definitely.
we've been brought up to ask externally,
Yes. Yeah.
and I won't go into it, but that can be religion that has done that to
Yeah.
you and stuff like ask externally, am I doing the right thing? Have I made a sin? Have I,
Yeah.
no, you're fine now. Okay, I'll live my life. Like we don't need anything else or anyone else to tell us that. We should
Yeah.
trust ourselves, like you said, and connect to ourselves
Absolutely.
and just kind of yeah, this is the path for me.
Yeah. You are your own temple. Think of that great light
Mm,
that is
yeah,
within you. Your soul is the light of creation.
yeah,
Like you are made of stars.
yeah,
We
yeah,
come from the stars.
yeah.
So you're all you need is yourself. Like
Mm,
you are your own church, you are your own temple, everything is
yeah,
within you. And I do talk about this in my book because I was raised Catholic and I was very conditioned by the Catholic
me
faith. And there
too.
was a lot of fear in me that
A
I
lot of
had to
fear.
work
Yeah,
through. Yeah.
totally. I was
A lot
exactly
of
the
old
same.
records that needed to be smashed
Yeah,
in order for me to free myself and
yeah,
realize that, gosh, I'm not a sinner. And
yeah,
actually, you know what? Like we're here to experience
yeah.
and different things. And actually, what one person deems as bad actually isn't bad for someone else. And
Mm,
the church, especially the Catholic Church, has put these constraints upon us, and it is
yeah.
all about control, and it's the
Control.
patriarchy as well. I
Yeah.
talk about that because my book is
Mm,
called Celestial Goddess Rising. And so I really awaken to how oppressed the feminine has been on so
yes.
many levels, not just from
Yes.
the point of view of like equal pay and equal opportunities, but actually in religion, across all religions, the divine
Mm-hmm.
feminine, the divine mother
Yeah.
has been shut out
Yeah.
pretty much completely.
Yeah.
And I go back into the scriptures, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Nag Hammadi texts that were found, which the church tried to conceal for a very long time
Mm,
because these texts speak about the great mother energy
mm,
and how imperative that is for all of us for
yeah.
balance. The great mother and the great father, those two principles, the masculine and the feminine,
Yeah.
no matter how you think of, whether you want to call God, say God or the creator or the source, it's a complete balance of masculine and feminine energy. And that's why
Mm,
our world is so out of balance because the mother aspect, the feminine aspect has been
mm,
completely trampled on.
yeah.
And, in the Bible, it was all edited by men.
Yeah.
So we only have one half of the equation.
Mm,
They cut out anything in the Bible to do with the divine feminine. Jesus had many women disciples.
mm,
We're not talking about any of them. In fact, the only one we're taught about is Mary Magdalene, who they told us was a prostitute, which is false.
yeah.
And the church actually revoked that.
Oh,
I think it was in the 70s, they revoked that interpretation of Mary Magdalene as prostitute. And again, it put women into a box of either the virgin or the whore. Like we've been
mm,
mind controlled and
mm,
conditioned on so many levels. But right now we're in this time of awakening and awakening to the sacredness of the
yeah.
feminine within everyone, within men and women.
Well, yeah, that's so important because, and especially, in the coaching world, I work a lot with women who are very much in their masculine, but going to burnout because they don't
Yeah,
allow any of their feminine in. And I think
yeah,
I was like that. I was very much in my masculine, push, 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 and I didn't
yeah,
have any of feminine. And I work a lot now with the feminine masculine balance
yeah,
and to be okay to be in your feminine. It's
absolutely.
it's so lovely to be in there, but I don't think um it's spoke about enough and taught about enough that we can have
Yeah,
both. We don't need to, we're in corporate jobs, we don't need to be masculine
yeah,
and put this face on and like you know what I mean, push against
absolutely.
people. We're fine to be in our feminine, but like you said, for men as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 70% of suicides in the world are men. And
Wow.
this is because men have been taught that they can't emote, that it's
Yeah.
weak to emote.
Yeah.
And so they don't, a lot of them just don't speak about how they're
Mm,
feeling. And then it's too late.
yeah.
It's a huge problem. And that's because the feminine has been dishonored
Yeah.
within every one of us. It's
Yeah.
been shut out and
Oh,
suppressed. And it's time to you know, bring back that balance within men and
and women.
women.
Yeah.
And it's not for the matriarch to rise up and then to oppress the patriarch. It's to bring it back into balance where men
Mm,
and women support each other
yes.
as equals, and we uplift each other and
I
we
love
honor
that.
those energies within each other,
Yeah.
you know.
I absolutely love that. And we support each other and it's not one or the other. It's like we're yeah, together and have balance
Yeah,
between both energies. Oh,
yeah,
I just love that.
absolutely.
Absolutely love it. Because I think we all need that.
We
I
do.
really do.
Yeah.
But what would you say to anyone who's starting on this journey or have got that feeling of, because you get that feeling, don't you? I want a little bit
Yeah.
more of this. What would you say for them to do, or any advice, like just to kind of step into, more world of kind of, meditation,
Yeah.
angels, Reiki, celestial, whatever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? What advice would you give for somebody if they're listening to this and they're thinking, oh, yeah, I want a bit more of that, but I don't really know where to start?
Yeah. So I think meditation, all you need is yourself for
Yeah.
that, and there's many different apps that you can download for free to
Mm-hmm.
help you on that
Mm-hmm.
journey.
Yeah.
I love Insight Timer, so many meditations on there from teachers all across the world, and you can just type in what it is that you're seeking. Are you wanting to relieve anxiety,
Yeah.
or what's the thing that you want to work on? Do you want more connection to angels? And you can just type in exactly what
Mm-hmm.
meditation you want and then it'll come up. But ultimately, all you need is yourself. And that is to bring awareness to your breath.
Yeah.
Take a moment to calm the monkey mind, which we all have, with all those thoughts that are just cluttering and clouding your mind.
Mm.
Just go out in nature, sit by a tree and breathe. That is such a great place to start. And then as you take that time for yourself every day, you can begin with 5 minutes of just mindful breathing, sat by a tree. And I
Mm.
love to, trees are just magical. And there's such a beautiful transfer of energy when we
Yeah.
just leaning against a tree. And science will support that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gain the electrons from the tree. And we
Mhm.
have that symbiotic relationship with them, with the oxygen and the carbon
Mm.
dioxide. We really are so connected. And so that is so healing and so it's so aligning for your
Mm.
energy on many levels to just connect to the trees and nature. And so that's a great place to start. And then you can explore guided meditations. Um, you know, Myself and yourself
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
our guided
Yeah.
meditations. Really great place to start. And then you might want to start bringing in crystals,
Yeah.
and then once you start bringing in the crystals, you're on a
It
roll then. Then you'll be traveling to the angelic
Yeah,
realms and
definitely. But yeah, it's just that step into it, and there's nothing to be scared about. It's just a
no.
beautiful, beautiful journey, and it just helps so many people.
Yeah. I always say just put it to the test. What have you got to lose? If you
Yeah.
don't feel any better, then you're no worse off. But you will,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
Katie, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
It has
I feel like I
been
could
the
talk
best
all
chat.
day.
I know, company. That's what I mean. These podcasts are gonna be like
Yeah.
hours long. But we'll put all the information on so anyone who wants to
Thank
reach out
you.
to work with you, Katie, because you are such a beautiful soul.
Oh,
And just
thank
thank you
you.
so much for coming on and having a chat with us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Thank you. It's been
loved it.
wonderful. And I just can't wait to see your journey unfold as
Oh,
you dive more into that world of
mm,
crystals
oh,
and
totally.
Reiki and
And it's all down
angels.
to you. So thank you so
Oh
much. I've
no,
just loved
no,
it.
it's you. I can't take credit for it because it's you. You've sought out this, you're ready for this and
Mm,
it's your
it's timing,
vibration and
isn't it?
yeah, everything is synchronized. You're
Mm,
walking that path of least resistance. So you've found it yourself.
I
But I'm
think
just
that's
so glad that, I've been able to be a part of that
yeah. Oh, thank
journey.
you. And I just think that for anyone that listening to that, it all comes to you at the right time. You don't need to
Yeah,
force anything and just allow it all to unfold.
definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.